empty the chamber on them. And how do you do that? First 6 seconds, point A to point B, everything you got. Everything you got. Turn that shit up. Let's go.
Welcome to the Scoop World Order's Wisconsin Week Edition. It is Monday. We are getting cranked up. We have our first big, massive Big Ten opponent showdown Saturday night in the Horseshoe. Nice 3-0 start. We started off with a decent Notre Dame opponent. We have 2 cupcakes since. Offense is humming. Defense is coming along. We're trying to get healthy, so we're going to see what we can do. That being said, as always, we are thankful for you guys and grateful for you guys for following us. We appreciate you guys. As always, we are growing. We're close to 16,000. So if you have not subscribed yet, click that subscribe link. Comment, what do we need to do to beat the Wisconsin Badgers this week? Who needs to show up? Is it Trey Henderson? Trey didn't finish this last week. Do we need him to have a big game? Is it the O-line? Is it our defense? Is it stopping Braylon Allen, their superstar tailback? Let me know. Write it in the comments. I want to hear your feedback. I love your feedback. Appreciate you guys as always. That being said, I got my good friend Nevadabuck. Nevada, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Looks like the Buckeyes recovering from last night, getting ready for Wisconsin. It's going to be a big week. Anytime you open up the Big Ten, it's always fun. And finished off a crazy day of NFL football yesterday, so I'm getting cranked up for Wisconsin, ready to go another night game. So it should be fun.
Yeah, the NFL, fantastic Sunday. One of the best NFL Sundays I think I've ever seen in terms of last-second games, comebacks. It was insane. Talk to me a little bit about your initial thoughts coming off of Toledo. 77-21. Obviously, the offense did some outstanding things. Defense is coming along. We held a lot of guys, which is good. Some guys that were nicked up. Some guys that weren't even on the injury report, which I think the injury report is almost a piece of fiction anymore, since there's so many guys that they hold or don't play or play for one play that aren't on the report. So I don't even know if that thing means anything at this point anymore. But what are your thoughts after Toledo? You've had a day to digest it. You probably watched it a few more times. What are your thoughts heading into the matchup with Wisconsin?
Well, the big question I've been getting a lot is about Trey Henderson and about his health. And I'm told that Trey should be fine. Now, whether that means fine and he'll play this weekend, I think it's really unknowable at this point. So I think anybody making any broad proclamations about that is probably off. It's not a big deal, but they don't want it to become a big deal. The same thing with Jackson Smith and Jigba. When he initially been injured against Notre Dame, not a big deal. Don't want it to be a big deal. So relatively speaking, Ohio State's come out of these first 3 games pretty unscathed. No major injuries. No major injuries at key spots that we don't have available backups. And I think this week it was interesting. Last week I think Ryan went to the pedal a little bit with the team just to kind of see how they'd respond, and they responded in a big way. Second most points since 1950. Great effort flying around. Lots of guys got involved, so everybody's jacked up right now at the Woody Hayes. All the backup players got a chance to get in there and see some action. But this week against Wisconsin is going to be interesting, because I think what this is going to do is this is going to set the table for the rest of the Big Ten. So what we're going to see is we're going to see how the Ohio State offense really wants to play. They've shown the run, they've shown the pass. I think against Wisconsin, you've got to come out throwing the ball. Wisconsin is susceptible to the pass. They can be beaten. They don't have the speed on the outside. And you know that Ryan Day loves to throw it that way. So, normally I'd say you run to set up the pass. I think against Wisconsin, it's going to be a classic Ryan Day matchup in terms of run only after you've established the pass. And we can soften them up there with the passes, with easy throws to the outside, the easy throws to the inside, the throws to the backs, some deep shots, and then you'll start punishing them with the run. But I think Ohio State's going to be working a lot on the passing in this week. They want to throw it. They think they can throw it, and I think they'll throw it with great effect against Wisconsin.
I completely agree. I couldn't agree more. I think that teams like Wisconsin and Michigan and Iowa, teams that traditionally are run-heavy teams that like to pound you and shorten the game and play great defense, I think part of the product of playing great defense is not having to defend as many plays. If you can control the ball and have your defense out there for 55 plays instead of 75 plays, you're likely going to be higher up on the defensive ranks, because you're not going to give as many yards, not going to give as many points, because your defense just isn't out there as much. And ever since, we keep saying it, the Michigan game last year, the Utah game, Notre Dame, the game plan against Ohio State with our throwing game and our offense and CJ Stroud is to keep them on the sideline. They want to control the time possession. They want to run the ball. They have the means to do it with their fantastic running back. They have a good offensive line. I don't think it's a great offensive line. And I think this will be a good challenge for Jim Knowles. Jim Knowles is coming over from the Big 12. He's seen a lot of Oklahoma, those types of teams, the Texases, the spread out, running quarterbacks, type of thing. That is not what Wisconsin is. Wisconsin is their traditional tight end fullback, two tight end fullback, jet sweep, counter, power, zone. I mean, they run everything. I was studying them today. Granted, they played just an atrocious New Mexico team that was one of the worst teams in 1A, but they did what they had to do. They beat them by 60 points or whatever, and it was on to the Buckeyes. But I think it's going to be interesting. With that being said, I'm going to go into the film room real quick. So one of the things I was studying today is some of the personnel groupings that Kevin Wilson and Ryan Day were bringing versus Toledo. And, the good thing about when you play a team like Toledo is you're going to beat them, so you can kind of experiment, run some different things, some different groupings that maybe you haven't run. We opened up an 11 personnel. 11 means one running back, means one tight end. It's our standard personnel. That's what we're in here. That was what we played the first play of the game. And after the first play, we brought in Mitch Rossi. We did our traditional 21 where you've got your two tight ends, one back. And I'm telling you, we play a lot of that. But this was a really good thing that we did in terms of sequencing plays with Cade Stover, who I think is becoming as good of a tight end as we've had in a long time. And I know people will say, well, we've had Nick Fournette, we've had Jeff Hartman, we've had Ben Hartsock, we've had Darnell Sanders, we had Jeremy Rucker, guys that were more heralded. They look more the part than Cade. Cade's not quite the 6'5", 6'6" type guy, but Cade is a better athlete than any of the guys that I named. And honestly, I think he's a better player. He's tougher. He's getting really good at running routes, and he's getting good to the point where they are featuring him in the throw game, and he's an exceptional blocker. So here's a quick play. I'm just going to show you a quick sequence real quick where they motion Cade 2x2 to start the play, and they motion Cade across, so real easy. Starts off 2x2. They got to adjust. He comes over here. That's a blocker. They do the little bubble screen. They let him get a little running start here. Chip, climb, get a quick little 8 yards on first down. Love the play. It's something that, when you give a guy like Cade a running start, I think it's really, it's important. It's really good for his ability to really set the edge. Nevada, I'm going to get to my play here. They do a little cross play, but that's not the play that I'm trying to get to. The next play I'm going to get to in the sequence, they run a very similar motion, but they clear it out for Cade, and they run a wheel. Nevada, you remember this play. What did you think of this when you saw this? I mean, we haven't seen many plays that were designed for a tight end in maybe the history of Ohio State, but what did you think of this play when you saw it in live action?
Well, again, like you said, it was great play design. You knew as soon as you saw Stroud kind of get that little pump fake to the outside that they were setting something up. I didn't think it was going to be to Cade. When I saw him make the catch on the sideline, I'm like, darn, they were actually setting that up to go to the tight end. And again, it's just it's classic punch, counter punch type of stuff, and it's nice to see it play out in real time where you see teams do something to set something else up. They had the other two guys clearing out. They had Cade kind of setting up like it looked like that play that they'd run before, but this time he releases down the sideline, gets open, and beautiful throw by CJ right in there. Big play.
Yeah, and the thing I really like about it is some of the nuanced stuff that people don't really catch on. If you're on our board, you've heard my consternation, Bill Green's consternation, some of our consternation. We never pull guards anymore, right? That was like a thing last year. We were big on the zone play, and I'm not sure if it was because maybe Thayer Munford wasn't a great puller, maybe Paris Jackson wasn't a great puller because they were tackles. I'm not sure what it was, but we never pulled. We ran straight zone blocking. I'd say 98% of the time. We did a couple counters where the tackle and guard pulled backside against Utah, but it wasn't like a staple of our running game like it had been in the past. Now, that's fine, but, I miss the pulling guards because I feel like you get a more significant double team on the front side of the play when you run power and counter. So what do we do here? And again, it's all about, you're these linebackers, you're these guys in the back end. You saw this motion earlier 3 plays ago, so you're thinking, okay, it's going to be another, he's going to step back. He's going to block. It's going to be a screen again. But look at all of the window dressing. So Cade gets over here, gets set up. You're going to see a fake toss here, and you're going to see Donovan Jackson pull to the edge here. So when you're these linebackers and these safeties, and Ohio State never pulls the guards or rarely pulls the guards, and you see a guard pull, you see a toss, you see Trey selling it, putting his, like, I mean, literally, he puts his. This is something that is taught he's reaching up, catching the football, the fake football, to draw their eyes, to draw their attention. Then you've got two of the best receivers in the nation clearing out, and then you have Cade just kind of, he's kind of fake stock blocking as if this toss is happening, and then he releases and it's too late. They're looking, pull, and CJ has the ball the whole time. Again, the sell here is huge. I think that Cade's little sell here is huge, and then it's just cleared out, wide open, beautiful, nobody around. Nice, easy throw and catch. Great play design by Kevin Wilson, Justin Fry, bringing over the pulling guard stuff, and Ryan Day, obviously, and it's great by Trey Henderson to sell it. As you can see, our fantastic receivers have cleared this out, and you just have all this space, and that's when you know that a play is great play design. So he's carrying here. These guys are back behind because they're playing Trey. So, it's nice when you're a guy like Cade Stover. You can catch a ball like this, and you're not going to get kneecapped because, look, you've got 12 yards of space. It's like you're in the parking lot playing catch, basically. So, fantastic play. Cade has great soft hands. He deserves this. He's a kid that's really coming on, a kid that I think is outstanding. He's going to be a big asset coming down the stretch for us. And again, like, I think that Ryan Day is when guys like Cade, he's captain, he does everything right, tough as nails. Like, you want to feed this kid because he does, he's living proof that, hey, if you do everything the right way and you work hard, then it's time for you to get rewarded. So, and this is going to be the last play I'm going to break, but here, again, this is the benefit to playing a team like Toledo before you get ready to play a team like Wisconsin, is you can show things that you haven't shown in a long time, like this. So here you have a fullback. Now, most people don't even know what a fullback is anymore because they don't really exist outside of maybe one. There's teams in the NFL that don't even carry fullbacks anymore. But thankfully, we have a kid like Mitch Rossi, outstanding Swiss Army knife type kid. Here, this is actually number 41. This is Josh Fryer. Josh Fryer is normally in number 70. He is our backup right tackle. They put him in an eligible number in number 41, so he can line up as a tight end. You've got Cade. You've got, I'm not sure who this is. I think this is a Mecca. So they've got a Mecca here kind of as a hunch tight end. And you have Cade. So this is like really heavy to the right. So obviously this is going to be a run to the right because that's where all the meat is. You're pulling Donnie Jackson into the hole. He leads up in there. Touchdown Trey Henderson. Again, that's something that you just want to put on film. It's something that you want your opponents to see when you're getting ready for that big game. But yeah, that's something that you want to put on film just to show to Wisconsin. So that's something they have to get ready for. They have to study and they have to emulate in their practice. In college football practice, you only have so many hours you can practice. So when you have to waste time on formations like that and setups like that, it's a pretty devious thing. So Nevada, to wrap this thing up, give me your thoughts. We got a big month. This is Monday, easy off day for the guys, treatment, lifts, that kind of thing. Bloody Tuesdays tomorrow. What do the Buckeyes need to get done on Tuesday? And how excited are you for this game, my man?
Well, super excited. Offensively, we talked a little bit about it. Defensively, I think it's going to be interesting because, normally when we play the jack position, we're playing those three defensive linemen, and then we're playing jack as kind of that fourth defensive lineman who's kind of going up and down the line, finding his spot. What's going to be interesting against Wisconsin is, do you play four defensive linemen and then still use jack as almost like a fifth defensive lineman moving up and down the line right there, and stop that heavy run game that they have? Do you go with almost like a five-man front, a 5-2-4 as opposed to a 4-2-5? It's going to be very interesting to see if they do some of that. I know they've practiced it. I know they did that last year and they didn't run it out too much. But with Jack, being so versatile, being a guy that he can actually drop and cover as well, it's going to be really interesting to see if they run that out this week. I have a sneaking suspicion they just might, and that might be something for Ohio State fans to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it would be interesting because that basically would be like a bear defense, something that we've seen before, something that Wisconsin actually showed and ran last week versus New Mexico. It wouldn't surprise me at all if we ran that, especially when we're matching personnel when they bring out their heavy stuff with their two tight ends or 2 tight ends and a fullback, 2 tight ends and a single back. You got to match those guys. You got to push them back. You got to get some beef in there. We need Mike Hall back to penetrate and wreck the zone game. We need Ty Leak. I mean, this is a Ty Leak kind of game. It's a Tommy Eichenberger kind of game. This is a pack your toughness close and bring him to the horseshoe kind of game. So I am super excited about this week. Yeah, and I'm going to wrap this thing up. Nevada, as always, I appreciate you, my man. I'm going to get here. And as always, we are going to be cranked up on the scoop. The scoop is going crazy right now. Again, it's Big Ten season. It is time for you guys to join the scoop. Really have some great stuff going on. We are doing daily podcasts, daily chats. Bill the Bank Green does his Thursday chat. There's never been a better time to be on BuckeyeScoop.com. There's never been a better time to join a premium message board. If you guys love Ohio State football, and you really want to know what's going on, we are the place to be. BuckeyeScoop.com, as always. Appreciate all you Scoop family members that are already subscribers. Get your friends in here. Let them know this is a spot, and we have a ball on here. And I mean, our NFL Sunday that we just had was crazy. I mean, just nonstop. I mean, just following every game. We have people from all over that follow basically every team in the league. So there's half the people are happy and half the people are sad. And, it's one of those things where thank God the Buckeyes are always good because people can always feel good. So with that being said, it is time to get ready to beat the Badgers. So as always, thank you guys so much, Buckeye Nation. And thank you, Scoop family. Appreciate you guys as always. Leave me some comments. I need to know, what do we need to do to beat Wisconsin? Who needs to step up? I need the names. Put them in the comments below. Like this video. Send it to your friends. Let them know it's time to roll. Big Ten season is here, baby. So as always, you guys have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Bucks.